COVID-19 has changed how so many people across the nation work. For one Cleveland startup, it's actually changed the work they do in the first place.
Before the pandemic, we told you about Parents in Motion and how it was helping give students rides back and forth to school. Well, in this News 5 original, Kevin Barry explains how the pandemic changed almost everything about the business.
When we first met Parents in Motion in 2019, they were solving a very common pre-pandemic problem for caregivers like Vickie Prime.
At the time that school ends is also at the time that I'm leaving work.
That's why Charisma Curry and Chanel Williams started their Cleveland company, connecting families like Vickie's to drivers like Stephanie Gardner. Parents in Motion was a rideshare company then for kids with background check drivers who had experience caring for children. But COVID meant many students weren't going anywhere, so Charisma and Chanel had to pivot.
We can just put, these folks in front of a computer and we can still help our families.
Many of Parents in Motion's drivers were already educators, so they traded in their steering wheel for a computer and offered extra virtual tutoring instead. The pivot also allowed Parents in Motion to focus on kids who need extra help the most.
We are targeting the shelters, we're targeting the behavior agencies, just places we know these students will be.
Like PRUITT's behavioral health agency.
Our students, have become behind and they're getting further and further behind.
Pete says even before the pandemic, the kids that come through his facility were already struggling. His program can handle their mental health needs, but he says virtual learning has been really hard on those students who are in the virtual learning pod that he runs because they can barely interact with their classmates or their teachers.
It hurts my heart because I'll see a kid, he'll give one answer for 2 or 3 hours he's sitting there in front of the screen.
So the kids coming through his program spend time virtually with tutors from Parents in Motion a few times a week. It's one-on-one instruction they wouldn't get anywhere else.
And gives them that extra help in math, extra help in reading. It gives them a time to be able to talk.
And time to talk can be really important for kids that school psychologist Robert Norton says have their world turned upside down right now.
Everything they knew about the traditional day kind of got disrupted.
He's helping Parents in Motion figure out the right path forward to keep kids educated and keep them mentally healthy.
Being able to provide some sort of support to help them cope and transition to the new adjustments is extremely important.
In Cleveland, I'm Kevin Barry, News 5.
Parents in Motion say the tutoring piece of their business is here to stay even after the pandemic, and they're still trying to figure out if it's worth going back to doing any rideshare work. Boy, that tutoring service is needed, Katie.
Yeah, sure is.